This is the Big Stories Podcast, where we tell the amazing and inspiring stories from across the Big 12 Conference.
I'm your host, Cleon Wall. Season 3 of the pod has officially wrapped, and wow, what a run it's been. Thanks so much to all of you for listening and joining us for these incredible stories. And a big thank you to our guests for sharing such inspiring, motivating moments from their lives.
This is all God, and he's doing miracles.
It had an impact on me, just her being there and asking how I was doing and showing that she cared and loved for me.
I said, God, don't let me get a big head about this. I'm just an ordinary person doing stuff for fun. I said, please let this help somebody in some way.
We also had the chance to talk with a lot of podcasters this year, bringing you some of the best stories from what happened on the field and the court. We're really grateful to all of them for helping us explore some new ground here on the Big Stories podcast. But as we explored that new territory, it started to feel like we lost our way a bit, like we drifted from the reason we started Big Stories in the first place. And that's on me. You see, when we launched Big Stories on BYUtv and BYU Radio, the goal was simple: to highlight amazing, uplifting stories from the Big 12 and beyond. That was always the heart of it, and in Season 4, we're getting back to that because that's what this show is all about. Now, you might remember back in Season 1, we actually traveled with the BYUtv Big Stories crew, turning those same stories into podcast episodes, plus telling a few of our own along the way. We branched out and told a few more in Season 2. Well, it started to feel like it was time to reconnect with that team, to partner up again while still finding and producing some of our own big stories. So coming up this fall, we're teaming back up with BYUtv, highlighting the stories they've spent months tracking down and bringing to life. Think of it as a companion to their incredible storytelling. That's what the podcast will be. Now, we're still working out exactly what the format will look like, but I promise you it's going to be good. Also, this fall, you might hear from some of our past guests. We'll be checking back in to see how their lives have changed since we last talked to them. Then in January, we'll get back to producing our own big stories, and our goal is to find one from each school in the Big 12. We've already come across several stories we're really excited to share with you. We're also hoping to make this a more video-friendly podcast as we move forward. We can't wait for Season 4, and we're excited to see how all of this is going to come together. We really think it's going to be our best season yet. Now, I will say, don't be surprised if you hear from us before the fall. Think of it as a possible bi-weekly check-in. Again, a huge thank you to everyone who has helped make the podcast possible. As I like to say, Big Stories will be back soon with more amazing, inspiring stories or tales from around the Big 12. And don't forget, Big Stories is a production of BYU Radio.